All right, folks, it's Knifemas 2025. We're opening a couple of packages. First one I already opened, but of course I had to accidentally show my address. But I used the Pendleton Mini Hunter to open it. We'll use it. Actually, no, we're going to use the new knife to open the other package. Pendleton Mini Hunter can sit on the sidelines for now because this is exciting. So this is kind of my gift to myself for having a hard year, and it's from a company that I kind of discovered a while ago, but they never had anything in stock, so I just kind of forgot about them. And kind of rediscovered them recently. Shot them an email, was just like, "Hey, you guys got anything in stock?" And they shot me an email back, telling me what models they had in stock and stuff. And I was like, "Oh yeah, sweet! I'm gonna try one of these." So let's take a look what's in here. All right, we've got it's missing a screw. That's interesting. TKell Raider. Oh, here we go. Must have just fallen out. Let's see if we can find the other half of that bad boy. There we go. Good. All right. So we got both of the screws for the belt clip attachment here. And let's just... Okay, we've got a screwdriver kicking around down here, don't I? I wish I had my Leatherman on me. That's okay. I'll just quickly put this screw in. But anyways, it's a TKell knives, which, I really, really like their designs. I like the G10 that they use. Like, look at that. That is gorgeous. So they had a Striker in stock. They had Warthogs. What else did they have in stock? I think we're just getting in some of the 00, like the Agent blades, but I'm not really that interested in those. They're a little bit too tactical for me, at least right now in what I'm kind of looking for me. But was looking for something that I could use around the house, use as an EDC blade. I'm in contact with them right now about getting a Raider, possibly. The way I can't remember what the guy's name is, the owner of TKell Knives. Oh, we're missing a little bit in there. Let's just ignore this for now. The way he redesigned the Raider was kind of updated. It's really, really beautiful knife. But this one, also a really nice knife. This is a TKell Striker. This is the Midnight Grip. They have a whole bunch of color schemes you can choose from, and I'm just a guy that likes blue a lot. And when things are blue, my wife is more likely to forgive me for getting them because she also likes blue. So let's just take a look. Ooh, yeah. So this is the Striker and 80 CRV2. Zoom in a little bit there. There you go. You can see an 80 CRV2. Looks like it's got a little bit of a blemish on the blade there. Or maybe that's just part of the way the finish is. Either way, doesn't bother me too much because I actually use my knife. So, been sharpened really nicely. Both the edges look like they match perfectly. And the thing, it feels razor sharp. Yeah, it's got a little American flag on there. America! Alright. And TKell engraved on the side. Yeah, very nice knife. See how she fits in my hand here. Yeah, pretty good. Actually, I think this would fit someone with a little bit bigger hands than me because I've got medium-sized hands. And when I grip this grip, you got a little bit sticking out, about, I don't know, quarter inch, half inch sticking out the bottom there. So, yeah, if you're somebody like me as medium size, I would consider my hands medium hands because I fit medium-sized gloves most of the time, but sometimes I fit large, depending. Yeah, that's a good size. I could still use this to do some whacking with. The blade is just under 4 inches long. So it's not a tiny blade. If you have restrictions on length where you live for EDC, you might want something like the Raider, where I think it's 3.2 inches. But I do like the design of both this and the Raider. It's kind of like a stabby, kind of sharp knife. You got a little bit of jimping up here at the top. You got this little cutout. It looks really cool, kind of like a harpoon style. You got a little bit of a blade guard right here, so your finger's not going to slip up. Even if I push my finger pretty hard, it's not going anywhere. Yeah, the grip really locks your hand in, feels good. Yeah, I just love the way it looks. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow. All right, let's open the second package with this knife, and we'll see how she cuts, and then we'll have some cardboard to cut. Oh yeah, just butter, baby. Hopefully you can see all that. All right, and we've got Cold Steel SRK compact, so 2 knives on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. It's kind of a budget knife, and this is a custom knife. So, but the SRK-C was on sale on Amazon for like $30, so like I couldn't resist. So let's see how this knife cuts through this cardboard. Whoa, pretty well. Wow, I was not expecting that with the blade geometry. Like you have this kind of like, I guess you could consider it a high saber grind, but the blade width isn't really that wide. Like if you look at something like my Work Tough Gear Lynx for comparison, you know, the Lynx has a lot more blade depth to it. So this is more slicey in theory. But that TKell is sharp. Let's slice a little bit more cardboard. That's fun. Oh yeah, she is sharp. I think the guy who runs TKell knives, his name is maybe Tim. But either way, he apparently he usually sharpens all the knives, and apparently he does a very, very good job. Wow, that is awesome. Oh, we got a little bit of paper in here to cut too. Oh yeah. Oh, got that wrong. Yeah, sweet. All right. Well, let's take a look at the SRK compact, and we'll take a look at it kind of relative to this knife. Oh, gotta use this knife to open the SRK. Perfect. Love that. All right. All right. There's the SRK compact. All right. Just got a little bit of guck on her. They always put a little bit of guck on the blade so it doesn't rust in transport. And see if I have a wipe land nearby here. I usually do. Here's one. All right, let's wipe off this SRK. A little bit of Vaseline on there. All right. So this is a 5-inch knife. We put the TKell next to it. Not that much smaller, really, but it's a bit smaller. You know, the grip's obviously a lot smaller, and blade's a little smaller. So that's all right. They're 2 good knives. The SRK-C, how's she feel in the hand? Not bad. A little bit narrow, feel like maybe. But I mean, like I've heard other people say that too. But it's a very compact little blade. Let's check out the thicknesses. I think TKell's a 0.16. They look actually pretty much identical for blade thickness. This guy's an SK5 steel, which is kind of like a 1095 type deal. And then this guy is an 80 CRV2, which is a high carbon steel. So you got to keep this kind of lubed up and everything. But it's decent at edge retention and quite tough. Apparently not quite as tough as AEBL, or at least similarly tough. I actually have a second TKell knife coming. I managed to find a used Accomplice. So I have that on its way here, and it's made in AEBL. So I'm really excited for that steel. AEBL is a stainless steel. It's not very super known for its edge retention, but it's incredibly tough. It's pretty much one of the toughest, if not the toughest, stainless steel. So you kind of sacrifice that, but because it's so tough, you can actually make up for the edge retention issues by decreasing the angle of the blade. So you just decrease the angle that you sharpen a little bit, and it actually will last a little bit longer. But yeah, this 80 CRV2 is supposed to be a good steel. I wanted to try it out, so we'll kind of see how it goes. I'm gonna use this thing to break down boxes and make salads and cut up steak and all that kind of fun stuff. And this, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this, but I'm probably going to baton it through stuff and Let's cut some box with it real quick and just see how it does compared to that TKell. Flip the box around as long as it doesn't have my address on it. Perfect. All right. Let's see how it does here. I'll zoom out a bit. Yeah, it cuts through the box. Yeah, pretty good. Let's see here. Not bad. I think if I touched up the edge, it would be a little bit better. And you probably would expect that from a factory blade. Like a lot of factory blades can be touched up and then they're pretty much razor sharp. Whereas, if I grab the TKell, hold on, let's just get some more cardboard for the TKell here. When we slice through with this, it's probably going to do a heck of a lot easier job. Yeah, it does a little bit better. Both have actually similar blade geometries as far as like width of the blade and everything like that. So yeah, this is a TKell. Man, is it a gorgeous knife. I'm glad I went with these midnight grips. I was kind of second guessing myself looking at pictures of them, but man, in real life, they look beautiful. The Accomplice is coming with blue grips as well, but they're not in midnight. They're some other kind of G10 that the TKell guys offered. I also wanted to say about TKell, I was really impressed with my back and forth with them. My back and forth with, I believe it's his daughter, her name's China. She's super wonderful to deal with. Best customer service I think I can remember ever having, to be honest. She'd be like, oh, I'll get back to you and check on this. And she'd do it like really fast. And she was very polite and wonderful to deal with. So, that kind of customer service makes me want to come back and support your company more. I don't know why more people don't put more resources into their customer service. But that's one thing about family-owned businesses, and that's what TKell is that's their strong point. Kind of want to cut more stuff. Oh yeah, that's just cutting through that like butter, man. I can cut through this invoice. Hopefully I won't cut myself because this is going to cut deep. Whoa. That is... I'm not very good at cutting paper. A lot of these guys on YouTube make it look super easy. Man, this thing's no problem. That's crazy. I like cutting cardboard more though, if I'm being honest. It's kind of more fun. Let's see if we can do a bit of an S shape through here. Oh yeah, no problem. Do a Zorro. Kind of a crap Zorro because it's a backwards Z. Alright, let's cut through this here. Do some more cardboard cuttings. God, thing's beautiful. Gorgeous knives, TKell. Keep it up. Yeah, this thing's stupid sharp. For the blade geometry it has, like, it shouldn't be that slicey. But it is. It's crazy sharp, this thing. So yeah, that's a cool knife, man. That is a cool knife. I'm going to do some batoning with this. This kind of, to me, could be used as like a little hiking knife, I'd call it like a small survival knife, if that's kind of the role you're going to put in. I mean, like this SRK fits in that role as well. There's cardboard everywhere. I've been cutting cardboard like a madman. Yeah. I think this is incredible value, this SRK. $30 Canadian, which is like, what, $20 American or something? And it's sharp, it's got a good edge on it, even grind lines. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Taiwan does a good job of making knives, though. Oh, yeah, that's sharp. Let's see how this guy goes through. Some paper here. Not bad. I think there's a little nick on the blade somewhere that kind of catches on the paper. But yeah, that's a pretty cool knife, and it's got 5-inch length, so this would be a good little micro survival knife. Or actually, what I was thinking is I was going to leave this in the truck as just kind of a general purpose knife. So I think I will do that because, you know, if somebody breaks in and steals it, it lost $30, not the end of the world. And then with those, you know, the cold steel, you get the Secure-X sheath, which they're good sheaths. And nowadays they seem to have modified them. They used to use smaller eyelets, and you couldn't use like Kydex attachments, but now they made them bigger, so you can use Kydex attachments on these, which is super handy. Yeah, great value knife. This knife cost 10 times as much, but it's worth every penny. It's gorgeous. And, you know, supporting a family-owned business is cool. And, you know, these little screws, you can see right through, and that's pretty neat. These little machine screws. Apparently he had them custom, he gets them custom made. Which is pretty neat. So you can put a lanyard through this on the end. I think that's why he puts this bolt kind of more towards the end. If you want to put a lanyard on it, you can put it through there. Really neat design. This thing's super stabby looking. Let's stab some stuff. Oh yeah, no problem. Let's see if I can just drop the weight of the knife on this box. Yeah, that's just me dropping the weight of the knife. I'm just kind of holding it up with my fingers. So yeah, if I actually like thrust it even just a little bit, it just goes right in there. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Stab's good. Yeah, I'm realizing this kind of like finish, it's like that nickel boron finish that he puts on the knives. It gives it like a, I think it has a Rockwell of like 80 or something like that. So, and it's supposed to protect against rust, which I'll find out about soon enough. So yeah, he really puts a lot of thought into his knives. And you also have, I don't know if you can see it. You can see these little kind of like micro machining marks along the blade there. Apparently what those are meant to do is reduce the surface area contact. So when you're slicing through something, about half of the blade is actually making contact with the thing, which makes it slice through things better. So you're getting less friction against the side of the blade, which is actually really ingenious if you ask me. Like it seems like it kind of works. I mean, like I can cut through stuff with this, it seems like quite easily. It does a really good job. Like I don't even know what I'm cutting through here. Something in the box I'm cutting through. But yeah, it just cuts like insanely well. Let's see if I can get back off here a bit, and we'll just slice all the way down this box. Like butter practically, like that's crazy. And this thing will do a lot of box destroying. It's gonna cut up tomatoes and cucumbers and possibly deer, maybe some moose, maybe some elk. I don't think I'd use this as a skinning knife. I'd use something a little different, but for an EDC knife, this is sick. You could like seriously cut some sandwiches with this thing. And you know, you could poke some dirty potatoes if need be. Yep, very stabby. I really like the size of this knife. I'm gonna put it, I'm wearing sweatpants because I just got home from work, and I kind of just tend to go into sweatpants when I'm at home and I'm not going out after work. But I'll put it on my sweatpants and we can kind of see what that looks like. I'm gonna get that sheath sorted out with the little attachment there, and we'll see what it looks like.